Life Her Podcast.
Hey, you.
Her is me, her is you. Her is us, her is she, her is we. United we stand, baby, that hurt for keeps. I'm coming and I demand my space, I know it's free. I owe myself the world, they tried to count me out. I've been down some dark roads, they tried to pound me out. From cloudy to sunny, ain't think that I would make it out. I needed positive emotions to fill me out.
Hey everyone, I am Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her Podcast. I have an amazing guest with me tonight, and I'm really excited about this conversation because I ain't gonna say she full of drama, but she gets straight to the point, and she could cause some drama because some people don't be liking what she be talking about when they gotta face reality and a real deal when it comes to relationships, friendships, anything with a ship in it. She gonna send you to the ship. But I am really excited with Valencia Joy. She is here live, full effect. Hey, Valencia.
Anything with a ship. I like that.
Seriously, because you be ruffling feathers. You know, a lot of people don't like to face reality, and you really be giving them reality checks.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like self-awareness.
Oh, yeah, that part.
They just want to live of just their own perceptions, not understand that, there are a lot of things that we ourselves can do better to better others, to better our situation, to better our ships. So, yeah, I talk about it all.
Yes. Well, they trying to sink in that ship then.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yes, definitely. So what got you into actually bringing these conversations to life and pulling it out of people for them to actually engage in so many types of conversations that you bring out?
Yeah. So I think I have a natural gift for asking questions. And the more conversations I'm in, the more questions I ask, the more I draw out of people. But I also think I have that personality. Strangers will just come and your whole life story. In that, I believe that I'm like a very bootleg sociologist. Like I like to study people and how we interact, how we think, how men and women, how maturity plays a part in how we interact with others. Like I've always been interested in that. I was married for 12 years. I've been divorced for about 8. I have 2 adult sons now. All of these relationships, how do I navigate through all of this? And how have other people been successful when they were where I am now? And how I help women that are coming up that, are facing divorce and having to co-parent and raise these kids. I just want to talk about it. I feel like a lot of people, once we get into these dicey situations or hurt situations, we shy away from talking because we don't want people to know our business or be gossip for other people. Really, a lot of us just need to talk.
Yes. Yes. And, sometimes it's hard for people to actually open up, but they have no idea how relatable they could be towards other people and they living in that same life as them. And that's the dope thing about it.
I think trust has been so broken.
Yeah.
I think trust has been broken in humanity. So I'm all about men empowering women. I fight an uphill battle every time I stand for women because there are so many women that say, I don't deal with other women. I don't have friends because women ain't no good and they'll do you wrong and they'll steal your man and they'll talk about you. Not every woman is like that, but I understand that because trust has been broken. Hurt is there. We got to heal the hurt so we can talk about some things and help heal each other. Women are the basis of everything in humanity. If we heal ourselves, we heal everybody. We heal our neighborhoods, our churches, our schools, our families.
Mm-hmm. When you was explaining like how women say, I'm not fooling with no more women, they did say that. I used to say those things myself. And what I've learned was if I continue to speak it, that's exactly what I'm going to get. And also,
Yes.
I had to switch over my mindset when it comes to things like that, because maybe it was a part of me that wasn't healed that kept me keep attracting those type of women in my life.
Yeah.
So it come from really facing reality that had to set in upon myself for me to get away from those type of individuals to keep coming into my life and doing me like that.
Yeah. I totally agree. And we all have bad luck in relationships at some point, but that
Yes.
doesn't mean that the whole is bad. That just means you got some bad out at that time. Our words do frame our future. So if we keep saying, I don't deal with women because they're catty, then you will always find a catty woman. But if you're saying, like, I want friendships that help heal me, and I want to heal other women, and I want friendship that has integrity and trust, that's what you will eventually attract.
Yes, and you will find yourself continuing to attract that, and then you just gonna look at yourself like, man, is there something wrong with me? And it might be.
Yeah. 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 True. But it all starts in the mind. What you think is what you say is what you see.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely true. So you have this new book out, and I Met a Guy, and you can basically discuss things with your sister girlfriends.
Yes, I met a guy.
Girlfriends.
You can only discuss with your sister girlfriends. Yes.
Where you get sister girlfriends? That is so unique.
I don't know. I'm always like saying, hey sis, hey sis. And it all came together for me one day. Like, these are my sister girlfriends. They're my sisters. They're my girls. They're my friends.
Girl, listen, you be coming up with some stuff. I'll tell you, one of a kind. You are one of a kind. So tell me a little bit about your book. The title speaks for itself, but how could this help sister girlfriends?
So I like to say that this book is like a girl out on paper. So it's everything that we talk about when we're out, like without the men, without the children, without the distractions. The intimate stuff, I talk about getting Brazilian waxes and whether you wearing panties or not, to like how do you talk to your boss on your job when you're feeling like, you're not being done fairly, to how do you deal with your husband, boyfriend. I talk about the infidelity that went on in my marriage with my husband, which caused a divorce, and raising kids. Like, I talk about everything that we talk about. Ooh. So just imagine us at the bar or on the couch with a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, whatever, and we're talking.
Yeah. The regular conversations will bring up that'll bring us some stuff, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a chapter in there, when the bra comes, I'm not going back out. Because how much freedom do we feel when we take off our bra? Girl. The day is done after that. I'm not going back.
Girl, yes, I'll be maxing and relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That's like, I never thought of that though.
Yeah. The day is done.
It is.
The day is done.
Dang, you own to something. I never really thought of that when you do. When you in your day, it's just like, once that come off, it's like, it be a wrap for real.
Yep. Don't ask me.
Man. Don't ask me. What inspired you to just even write the book? Did you find this yourself when you just thought of it, it just started flowing?
Honestly, it was God. I'm a believer, and I feel like, the Holy Spirit talks. I feel like the Holy Spirit urges. And I just felt like deep in my gut, in my soul, like, get to writing. I've always been a writer. I've always been able to tell a story. But life happens, and I have a lot of responsibilities. Like I said, I became a single mother. I had to work to support my family, and really didn't have a chance to pursue my dreams at that time. But I just felt like the Holy Spirit telling me to write. And I would kind of get discouraged because I don't have time to write. Like my kids were active in school and I was going back to school to finish my degree. Plus I worked a full-time job and I had to find time to write. And then the book sat there for a very long time, like a couple years, because there was nothing to do with it. And one day a friend of mine said she was starting a publishing company and did I have anything ready to hand her? And because I was obedient to the Holy Spirit a couple years ago, I was able to hand over this manuscript. And 3 months later, I'm a published author. The whole story is completely unheard of. To even publish a book in 3 months is unheard of.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But we did it. And I feel like it was God's hand told the project the whole time.
Wow. It's just, you just had to get that out too. Even, I know I'm going to backtrack a little bit. You were saying that you dealt with your ex-husband cheating on you. That's like another form of grief. You know, sometimes people think grief comes with just death, but it comes with a lot of things. And just even you just let go of your family like that when that's something you're used to. And I know a lot of people, they've been in marriages for a long time or relationships, and they usually stay for the kids, knowing they're not happy. What made you not stay and just let everything go?
So for the longest time, I did stay. It was not just one woman. It was not just one affair.
Okay.
So for the longest time, I did stay, in part for my children. I wanted them to have a 2-parent home. My other reason was because I didn't feel like God was releasing me. I felt like God kept telling me to stay. And at about the 1 millionth woman, the 1 millionth affair, I felt released. I felt like I was able to let this go now and not be disobedient to what God was telling me to do. And I ran. I absolutely ran. And God definitely has covered me and kept me during that time, but it was not without trials. It was not without dark times. And I absolutely did grieve. It is a death. It's a death of a relationship. It's a death of that version of my family. It's a death of the vision that I had for my family. There was a lot of grief, a lot of counseling, a lot of tears. But now standing on the other side of it, a lot of glory.
How do you feel like, you know, you do a lot of examples all the time of different conversations that people send to you or things that you may see on the internet. We see a lot. I don't know if you saw the one with the baseball player. He has a wife and he had a baby by another woman, but his wife stayed with him. And the mistress, she still makes it seem like they're in a relationship or whatever. When you see things like that, when women continue to do things, however, you have the comments of people saying she's stupid, she's dumb, why is she staying? I'm talking about the wife, though. They're making it seem like the wife is stupid and not the other woman and different things like that. When you were in that situation of staying with your husband so long, how does it feel when you see other women going through that?
It's hurtful. It's so hurtful and it's disheartening because I know how that wife is feeling. And I know it's no easy decision to leave, just like it's not an easy decision to stay. There are so many factors that go in either decision. And unless you've been in those shoes, how dare you judge? He's still her husband. He's still the father of her children. And it's hard. It's hard, especially I couldn't imagine, you know, I'm just a local girl from Cleveland. I couldn't imagine being in the spotlight, you know, for all to see and for all to speak on. But when I see situations like that, I always pray that she has a good circle around her to support her, regardless of what she decides. Because that's what I had. That was also part of my book. It's just celebrating friendship amongst women. And my friends have my back no matter what. They'll tell me when I'm wrong. They'll support me when I'm right. And when I was in the midst of, should I stay, should I go? He cheating again. I don't know where he is. He took his ring off. He's not answering his phone. Whatever it is, they stood by me. They cried with me. They prayed with me. And they also told me, okay, grief time is over. Get up.
Mm.
And I think all those conversations are needed.
Yes. Yes. A lot of those conversations are needed because they're always quick to down the next woman easily and say so many harsh things to either the wife or the mistress or the girlfriend or the other girlfriend. It's just sometimes the things that people say, they make it seem as though they never been through nothing themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me also say this. I don't, whatever your belief system is, whether you're you reap what you sow type person or karma is real type person, what goes around, come around, it's going to spin the block for you. All of that to say, don't think that if you take time to ruin another woman's home, that will not come to darken your doorstep one day, because it will.
Girl, listen.
You are not exempt from the pain you cause another woman.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Yeah.
It really is. I wonder, like, have you ever like faced any of the women that were messing with your husband?
Oh, girl, yeah.
Really?
Yes. The first woman that I found out about, I didn't truly know the story. He didn't tell me the whole story, but I found enough evidence in his phone, and I called her because I knew. That's another thing. A lot of the one I knew.
Really?
So I knew her, and I called her. Yeah, I called her. I asked her what was going on. Now, I was like maybe 21, 22 with a baby. I want to say I was pregnant, but that fact may not be accurate. And when I asked her what was wrong or what was going on, she told me, you need to ask your husband.
Oh,
I absolutely saw red, not just for the obvious reasons of how dare you, but also I just didn't know that women like this existed. Call me naive or whatever, but I just didn't know that this type of woman existed, especially like most of these women were church women.
ooh.
So now that's a compounded layer of, I didn't know that people like you existed. Because I would never, not only as a believer, but as a woman, I would never. So yes, I've definitely had a conversation or two. But it's always the same whatever.
Yep, same old song.
Yeah. And they don't ever leave the wife.
Whew.
The husband don't leave the wife.
I think the part that where you got me at is church women.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, be singing in the choir, leading the choir. Yeah.
Wow. Do you find did that change your faith in any type of way?
No, believe it or not, no. By the time that I got to the place where I was getting divorced, I was so desperate for God. What it did change for me is my view on religion versus relationship. Because for the longest time, like I had been in church all of my life, so I knew protocol, I knew religion. I could quote scripture. I've been in Sunday school. I knew when to stand. I knew when to sit. But it was in that my darkest time of getting a divorce is where I found God and where I found the love of Jesus for me. That's what shifted.
Wow.
So I'm not necessarily, I don't have to be in the building every Sunday. I know there are some people that are like that, and God bless them. I found Jesus laying in my bed, crying so hard I was choking.
Wow.
Tears in my ears because I was laying on my back. So tears I was drowning myself in my tears. And that's where I found Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. So
yeah.
how did just going through that's a lot.
Yeah. One time my counselor told me, like, you have PTSD. And I was shocked. I was like, I thought that was reserved for people that had gone to war. But the more that I thought about it, I'd been in a battle for years.
Wow. Yeah, because I had to been like traumatized. And do it affect you as far as like when it comes to like dating men?
dating now? Yes and no. I'm still friends with one of the first guys that I dated post-divorce.
Okay.
And we actually just saw each other a couple months ago, and we got together and caught up. And he kind of brought up some stuff that I had said when we were dating that I don't even remember. But he had extended a lot of grace to me because he knew I was the first guy that I had dated since I had gotten divorced. And it was in that conversation with him that I realized, okay, I guess I was battered and bruised and a little on edge.
Right.
You know, like, you're not going to treat me no kind of way. You ain't going to talk to me no kind of way.
Right.
Like, all I said was, what do you want to eat? Like, you pick the place.
This old pants and needles.
It's like, I'm sorry, my bad. Yes.
Well, you know now.
I've gotten a lot better.
Well, it's 2023 now. They say dating is ghetto now.
Girl. It is I don't know if you out there, honey, but it is a minefield.
Okay, I probably was out there for a couple seconds.
Honey.
It blows my mind. I think what gets me the most about this new dating age is how I feel like polygamy is an excuse for actually being in a relationship for cheating. I think it's just another word of being a side chick or whatever case may be. I guess it's just another fancy way of saying it. It's different.
People aren't really paying attention. Polygamy is really supposed to be a man has so many wives, but he's able to take care of them all.
Oh, that part.
So if you're dealing with a broke buster that is not providing, this is not polygamy, honey.
This is brolocamy.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is.
It's terrible because it's just so bad. And I feel like I'm going to be really, really honest with you. I feel like women are afraid to be alone. I feel like they do not give themselves time to heal. And I feel like they are just desperate to have a man in their presence. And I don't like it. And I really don't, because the desperation for conversations of relationships is like really, really bad. Like, it's really bad. It's like the popular thing. And I've seen people take these conversations and bring it into their home, and the shit don't even make sense.
Yeah. Yep. I think it comes from like low self-esteem. And I know this is like a buzzword, but it's true. You have to know your worth.
Yes.
You have to know like what you deserve. You have to have boundaries and standards that you will not bend for no matter what. The problem is women just will bend for anything and then end up in the brokeology like what you were saying and don't understand how we did.
Yep. And that is true.
It's horrible. I was talking to a guy that I met on a dating app, and we were just doing like the typical get to know you type stuff. And so he had been married, which I would like to date somebody that has been married, because I feel like there are certain things that I don't want to have to explain to you.
Exactly.
He has kids. Yeah, he has kids that he raised. He was active in their life. I feel like that's important. So I'm like, okay, check. And then I said, well, what do you want from out of a relationship? And he said, well, I really want what I had from my marriage, which was for the woman to be 100% submissive. And so I said, oh, okay. Well, you got what you wanted out of your marriage and you're divorced now. So then wouldn't that mean that she wasn't getting what she needed? And this joker said, I guess so. Oh, how do you not know? How do you not know? And so then we keep talking, and he says that he wants like a long-term partner. He wants a friend, but that he does not want to get married again because marriage is just a piece of paper. In my mind, You want 100% submission from a girlfriend, and you feel comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's out of pocket. But honestly, a lot of women they do so much in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship to a point a man feels as though they don't have to get married no more.
Yep.
It's not even an option anymore because she's already doing it. What more else do you want?
Yep.
So they make that piece of paper and all that an excuse, and they'd rather just buy you a ring and they'd be happy with the ring.
Yeah. But you know what? When he die, your name is gonna be special friend in the obituary, if that.
Special long-time friend.
Yep. The miss long-term friend.
You done invested so much into this man's life, this relationship. You may even invest it financially.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't even yours.
Mm-mm. Can't take it home with you.
Mm-mm. Can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Not a dang old thing. And I don't know. It's just sometimes when I have relationship conversations, it's like people just be thinking I be doing the most. But it's just, I just feel like it's just people don't have time they don't get to know each other. Like,
no.
Like you would just literally just be with this person all this time and not know who they are.
Yeah.
Y'all have not asked no questions or nothing, but y'all humping every day.
Yep. They jump straight to sex.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Straight to sex.
Girl, and that's scary because if you jumping straight to sex and this means so much to you, just think of all the other women and don't nobody get tested no more.
Nope. Nor do they wear condoms.
Yeah, they just be going in. It's just so scary. And I think another scary part about it is like how so many men are killing women and their children. It could be the children that they had or the children that's just hers.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all don't be doing no background checks. Y'all just be ready to get a wet ass and have a man in the house and have a good time with him for whatever moment that is.
Yep. And so now to me, this pivots to mental health because you're not just damaging yourself or concerned about yourself. There are children involved. There are other family members involved and you don't care. That's mental health.
Yes. Yes.
That's mental health.
That it is. That's a lot. And I could say like you have like sister girlfriends or whatever. What about the women that don't have the proper sister girlfriends that tell them the truth and make their friend hold accountability?
I believe in community. If you don't have it, that doesn't mean that it's not out there. You may have to search. You may have to, like I said, your words frame your future. So what are you saying as you search for friendship? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody needs somebody.
They do.
So for the people out there that think, you're on an island and you like it that way. No, to me, that's a facade that you're just hiding behind because that's easier than being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we all need somebody to talk to bounce ideas off of, to encourage, and to get a little conviction with. And there are friendships out there for you, but you have to let your guard down and be a little vulnerable. And what I always tell people is whatever you want out of the ship of somebody else, you must first give yourself. So if I'm looking for love, I need to know how to love myself. That's the only way I'm going to recognize it or even instruct you on how to love me. If I'm looking for trust, I got to trust me. If I'm looking for integrity, I have to be integral. So there's some inner work that we have to do maybe before we can extend friendship or olive branches for friendship to other people. But that doesn't mean don't do the work.
Oof. Folks don't like doing work.
I know.
They want somebody to hold their hand.
And look at the result, though. Our world is crumbling.
It is.
Our world is crumbling from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor. It is crumbling.
It is. It's crumbling really bad. And I think the sad part about it is no one really notice it.
No.
They don't even care. Yeah, they don't even care to research it, or even if it's right in front of their face, they won't believe it.
And too, a lot of people are just overwhelmed. Like, if you think about it, look what we just endured.
Yeah.
In the past 3 years. Look, this was not healthy for any of us.
No, it wasn't.
Look at what we've had to go through. And now that we're coming out of it, nothing truly has changed. We've just added more weight to what we're carrying.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. And, even just adding that weight, it's just the fact that no one isn't, people say they heal, but they really not. And
yeah,
I think people sometimes like the word mental health and using all these terminologies as an excuse, when in reality, they're not even getting the real proper help that they really need. They're just doing it for content.
Yeah. Oh, yes. For sound bites. Yeah.
Yes. And not even knowing that you're not only hurting yourself more by the day by being someone else and not yourself, but you are hurting people because they're still hurt and they actually look up to you and idolize your words. Your word means something to them.
Yes.
But you're hurting inside yourself. And if you be transparent with that and walk into who you are, that can help you a lot better being truthful than lying.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yes.
I totally agree.
It's just so common to a point where people just really just need to figure out who they are, because we lost who we are these past 3-4 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to add to that, I think that women in general, before the pandemic, during and after, we tend to lose ourselves in our titles.
Oh yeah.
So like, I'm his husband. I mean, his wife. I'm their mom. I'm her daughter. Titles. But if all of that goes away, who are you? Get to that root.
Yes. That part.
Yeah.
Part. I did this thing where I said you don't have to explain you to nobody. And a lot of people that may go over their head, but a lot of people, they don't know who they are. But why should you explain yourself when you don't even know who you are and you're still working on that part?
Yep.
So and you can't explain nothing that doesn't exist.
Yeah. And when you heal and when you walk in your purpose, you don't need to explain nothing. It introduces itself.
Well, with energy.
Yeah.
With that energy. Definitely, for sure. So after you got a divorce and have your kids, it's just y'all creating your own existence because you got married young.
I did.
So once you stepped out to figure out who you were, how was that feeling when you just felt that moment for once? Like, man, this is me. This is who I am. I'm really the shit.
Yeah, I was nervous, girl. I was nervous because I had to stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And people had to look at me. It's not like me and the kids or me and my family. It's just me. So it's almost a feeling of bareness or nakedness.
Wow.
But I've learned to be appreciative of that because I've learned and still learn who I am as a woman.
Yeah. Did you find yourself, I know I've seen a lot of women get married or at a young age and been with their husband for years, or get divorced after being with them for so long, and they lose themselves along the way and lose their identity because their identity was only their husband and kids.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for women that are either trying to get out of that
Mm-hmm.
or that is out of it and they still trying to find a way of who they are?
Yeah, so every woman, everybody has a pulling somewhere, a feeling or pulling or pushing something of what you know you're supposed to do. You may not see the whole picture, but you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're here for. It's about finding your purpose and holding on to that. You're still a mother. If you're still married, you're still a wife. You still have all those other titles, but who are you to you? Why did God create you? And again, that takes work in figuring out. And it's frustrating because as women, we like to be in control and to see the whole picture. Because if I can see the whole picture, I can tell everybody what to do, when, where, why.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't get that when we're working on purpose. But it's like that. I always say it's like that Michael Jackson video, and I can't think of the song, but remember he was dancing on the squares, and each new step, the square would light up.
Yes.
Kind of how it is. But you have to take that step. And then God shows you the next one. And when you get to the point where your steps are huge, God sends the help. And when nothing is lighting up, maybe God wants a little bit of time with you one-on-one. So you need to be quiet, and you need to, maybe study the word, study yourself. But we all have that pulling. You may have to get quiet in order to hear. But it's often attached to your talents. What are your natural talents? And it's oftentimes attached to your pain. I didn't know that I was supposed to be talking to women until I realized what was going on in my marriage. And then I started writing. I started writing anonymously because, again, I was embarrassed and didn't want people knowing my business. And so many women reached out to me. I had a fake name and everything, reached out to me telling me that they could relate.
Wow.
That's when I found my purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
That had to feel good too, though.
It did.
Just being anonymous and having women say things, but especially with them not knowing who you are, makes it even more genuine.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't know. Mm-hmm. And I felt validated, like that my pen was powerful and that my story, it wasn't unique because we were all going through it, but the way I wrote it and the way I told it was relatable, which was my talent.
Wow.
Writing and being a storyteller is my talent. My pain was a busted marriage. You put it all together and, women are saying, yeah, I can relate to this. Yeah, I understand you. Yeah, I cry like that too. And they can also say, yeah, I'm healed now. Glory rests on me too.
Yeah. Whew. So when do you want people to get from I Met a Guy?
From I Met a Guy, I want women to get that friendship is important, that your sister girlfriends are important, and sharing everything, from the silly to the serious is necessary. It's just healthy. You got to get it out.
You do. It's like very important because the more we keep it in, the more we find ourselves hurting ourselves and hurting others that don't deserve it.
Yeah. And you're no fun to be around.
Oh.
Who want to be around, sourness all the time, cantankerousness all the time? Nobody wants to be around that.
Straight to the point. Oh my God, that's why nobody want to be around you.
With your funky ass.
Oh my God. terrible. It's the truth, though. It is the truth. Because it's like, don't nobody want to be hearing all that mess. And you know, it also, even though you have your sister girlfriends and everything, it has to be a point where y'all got to come up with a solution.
Absolutely.
We're not about to keep crying me a river. We're not about to keep telling you the same thing over and over again. What's up with this solution? What we about to do?
Yes, I love that.
It's like, seriously.
And I think a lot of social media is just complaining about your problems and crying about your problems all day and calling it transparency.
That's all.
Transparency. But transparency doesn't work unless there's healing. Otherwise, created a pity party.
Mm-hmm. Because I haven't.
We don't want that.
I ain't heard too many solutions. I ain't heard.
And if you offer one, you get blocked.
You do. You get blocked with the quickness.
Yeah.
You really do. I think the scariest part of certain things when it comes to these type of conversations is these people aren't really who they say they are.
Absolutely.
I think that's the scariest part. You just know how your wordplay so well and know how to market yourself to a point. It has people in agreement with you, but you really not that person. That's scary.
Like you said, it's just for content.
Yes, that is scary.
Yeah.
Girl, listen.
Authentic. And I think that's been one of my biggest focuses is just to stay authentic.
Yes.
Because number one, that's when you draw the appropriate group to you, is when you're authentic. But also it just deals with integrity. Like, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. I don't want to have to be responsible to keep up the lie or remember the lie. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be who I am. And, you take it or leave it. But my content is for real. What I say is for real.
Yeah. Everybody trying to deal with all that.
It's too much.
It is. It is. So how can anyone purchase your book?
So my book, I love this part. My book is available anywhere you buy books. I just think that's so major, so dope. Like a little black girl from Cleveland, and you can buy my book at Target or Barnes and Noble.
For real?
Yes, but you can also buy it through my site. It is vjoyful.com. That's V as in Victor, EEJOYFUL.com. And like I said, anywhere else that you buy books.
Girl, listen. It's like you done came out of retirement and you said, huh? I mean, publishing a book in 3 months and you just got it everywhere?
Yeah, actually, my publisher did it. She worked hard. Her name is Corey Sykes, and the publishing house is Write and Vibe Publishing. And listen,
Corey,
you can't beat a black woman when her mind is made up.
You can't. Good luck.
And really good luck if it's 2 black women.
Oh, gotta stop playing,
honey.
Oh, wait. Well, that is amazing. Is it a way that people could like get in touch with you? Because I know you do a few ghost writing. You do you a director. You a producer. You offer a lot.
Yeah. So I'm on social media. On Facebook is Valencia Joy. On LinkedIn, Valencia Joy. On Instagram is V Joyful, again, V as in Victor, EEJOYFUL. I'm on Twitter, very active there as Queen V. And I think that's about it. Or you can, of course, through my site, contact me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We got to do this again.
Yes, I had so much fun.
We really got to do this again. I really enjoyed talking to you. It's amazing.
Anytime, girl. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Me too. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Life Her Podcast, where we help heal women all over the world. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Life Her Podcast, and check out our YouTube page as well. And make sure you subscribe. You can also look onto our website and you can purchase merchandise and listen to the podcast episodes. I am Yvette Lloyd. I am Life Her. Love yourself, ladies. Take care of yourself and others you love dearly.